Raven, the phantom thief, studied the blueprints. She was known for her meticulous planning and her ability to pull off the impossible. Every heist she had ever executed was a masterpiece of precision and daring. This time, her target was more ambitious than ever before. A high-security skyscraper, a fortress of steel and glass. It was a monolith that stood as a testament to modern engineering and security. The building was equipped with the latest in surveillance technology, motion sensors, and armed guards patrolling every floor. Breaking into it would be a challenge even for the most seasoned professionals. It held her prize, the Crimson Core, an artifact of immense power. The Crimson Core was rumored to be an ancient relic with the ability to control energy, a treasure that many had sought but none had succeeded in obtaining. It was kept in a secure display case, surrounded by layers of security measures designed to thwart any would-be thieves. Her fingers traced the schematics, a ghost of a touch. She could almost feel the pulse of the building, the rhythm of its security systems. Each line on the blueprint was a pathway, a potential route to her goal. She had to be precise, for one wrong move could spell disaster. Each line a whisper of a plan. Raven's mind raced as she considered every possible scenario, every potential obstacle. She made notes in the margins, detailing her strategies and contingencies. This was more than just a heist. It was a dance with danger, a test of her skills and nerve. The team assembled Blade, the getaway driver. Whisper, the hacker extraordinaire. Each member of her team was a specialist, chosen for their unique skills and their ability to work under pressure. Blade was known for his lightning-fast reflexes and his ability to navigate the most treacherous of escape routes. Whisper could bypass any security system, her fingers dancing across the keyboard with unmatched speed and precision. Their faces were etched with anticipation, their eyes reflecting the city's neon glow. They knew the risks, but they also knew the rewards. The city was a living, breathing entity, its lights and sounds a constant reminder of the stakes. They were ready to take on the challenge, to prove themselves once again. This was their art, their symphony of chaos. Each member of the team played their part to perfection, their movements synchronized like a well-rehearsed performance. They thrived on the adrenaline, the thrill of the chase. This was what they lived for, the moments when everything hung in the balance. The air crackled with a nervous energy. Every second counted. Every decision could mean the difference between success and failure. They could feel the weight of the moment, the pressure mounting as the time for action drew near. But they were prepared, their minds and bodies honed for this very task. The plan was intricate, a tapestry of timed movements and calculated risks. Every detail had been considered, every variable accounted for. They had mapped out their routes, marked the times when the guards would change shifts, identified the weak points in the security system. It was a delicate balance, a dance on the edge of a knife. One wrong step, one miscalculation, and the symphony could turn into a cacophony of destruction. The clock was ticking, each second bringing them closer to the moment of truth. They had to be perfect, for there would be no second chances. The stakes were too high, the risks too great, but Raven thrived on the edge, on the adrenaline rush of the impossible. She had faced danger before, had danced with death, and come out victorious. This was where she belonged, in the heart of the storm, where every sense was heightened, every nerve on edge. She was ready for the challenge, ready to prove herself once again. Failure was not an option. For Raven and her team, this was more than just a heist. It was a test of their skills, their courage, their determination. They were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, to overcome any obstacles in their path. They were united in their goal, driven by a shared purpose. The blueprint was set, the plan in motion. Now it was time to execute. Night fell, draping the city in darkness. Raven and her team moved like shadows, their movements fluid and silent. They bypassed security systems, each member a specialist in their field. Whisper's fingers danced across her keyboard, disabling surveillance with ease. The higher they climbed, the tighter the security became. Laser grids, pressure plates, infrared sensors, a deadly maze designed to ensnare the unwary. But Raven was anything but unwary. She navigated the labyrinth with grace, a phantom in the night. The vault door loomed, a steel behemoth barring their path. It was a masterpiece of engineering, designed to withstand any intrusion. But for Raven, it was just another puzzle, another challenge to overcome. The vault hummed with silent energy, a fortress of secrets waiting to be unraveled. The air was thick with anticipation. Every shadow in the dimly lit room seemed to whisper tales of past heists and hidden treasures. The metallic scent of the vault door mingled with the cold, sterile atmosphere, creating an almost palpable tension. Whisper, the tech maestro, worked her magic, her fingers dancing over the keyboard with a precision that spoke of years of practice and countless hours spent in the glow of computer screens. Her eyes, sharp and focused, never wavered from the task at hand. She was in her element, a conductor orchestrating a symphony of code and algorithms. Bypassing the intricate lock system was no small feat. The security measures in place were designed to thwart even the most skilled hackers, but Whisper was no ordinary hacker. She navigated the digital labyrinth with ease, her mind working faster than the most advanced processors. Each line of code she wrote was a step closer to their goal. Beads of sweat dotted her brow as her fingers flew across the keyboard, the pressure of the moment evident in every keystroke. The room was silent except for the soft clacking of keys and the occasional beep from the computer. Her concentration was absolute, her determination unwavering. Her eyes reflected the digital code flashing across the screen, a cascade of numbers and symbols that held the key to their success. Each line of code was a piece of the puzzle, and Whisper was the master puzzle solver. The glow from the screen illuminated her face, highlighting the intensity of her focus. With a soft click, the vault door swung open, revealing the crimson core. The sight was breathtaking, a treasure trove of unimaginable wealth and power. The room beyond the door was bathed in a soft, eerie light, the crimson core at its center, pulsating with an inner glow. It pulsated with an inner light, a mesmerizing crimson glow that seemed to draw the eye and hold it captive. The artifact was unlike anything they had ever seen, its beauty and power evident in every facet. It was as if the very air around it was charged with energy, a tangible force that could be felt even from a distance. A mesmerizing crimson glow bathed the room in its eerie radiance, casting long shadows that danced on the walls. The light seemed to pulse in time with the beating of their hearts, creating an almost hypnotic effect. It was a sight that would be forever etched in their memories. The air crackled with energy, a tangible force that seemed to vibrate through the very fabric of the room. It was as if the artifact was alive, its power radiating outwards in waves. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation, every second stretching into an eternity. A tangible force emanating from the artifact, its power undeniable. The light it emitted was almost blinding, a beacon of energy that seemed to pulse with a life of its own. It was a sight both beautiful and terrifying, a reminder of the immense power they were dealing with. Raven reached out, her gloved hand trembling slightly as she lifted the artifact. The weight of the moment was not lost on her, the significance of what they had achieved sinking in. The artifact was surprisingly light, yet it thrummed with power, a sensation that sent shivers down her spine. It was surprisingly light, yet she could feel its power thrumming in her veins. The sensation was unlike anything she had ever experienced, a rush of energy that seemed to connect her to the very core of the artifact. It was as if she could feel its history, its purpose, its immense potential. This was no mere gem, it was a relic of immense power, a key to a force that could reshape the world. The weight of its significance was almost overwhelming, a reminder of the responsibility that came with such power. This was the key to a power that could reshape the world. The possibilities were endless, the potential for both great good and unimaginable destruction. It was a moment of triumph, but also a moment of reckoning. The future was now in their hands, and the choices they made would determine the fate of the world.
Blade, we have company.
The piercing wail of sirens shattered the silence. They had been discovered. Raven's blood ran cold. The element of surprise, their greatest weapon, was gone. Now it was a desperate fight for survival. Raven's voice was calm, steady, despite the adrenaline surging through her veins. She secured the crimson core, its weight a comforting presence against her chest. The building sprang to life, alarms blaring, security forces scrambling. Heavily armed guards poured into the corridors, their faces grim, their fingers itching on the triggers. The hunt was on. Section 5. A Dance of Desperation. In the heart of the city, where the night was alive with the hum of neon lights and the distant wail of sirens, a story of survival and grit was unfolding. Blade, a master of controlled chaos, roared into action. His eyes were sharp, his grip on the wheel unyielding. Every muscle in his body was attuned to the rhythm of the chase, a symphony of speed and danger. His souped-up sports car became a blur of speed and precision, weaving through the city streets, leaving a trail of frustrated pursuers in its wake. The engine's roar was a beast unleashed, echoing through the concrete canyons. The city lights became a kaleidoscope of color as they sped through the urban jungle. Each turn, each swerve, painted a new stroke on the canvas of the night, a dance of light and shadow. Police cars screeched in pursuit, their sirens a deafening chorus. The flashing lights created a strobe effect, a relentless reminder of the danger that nipped at their heels. But Blade navigated the concrete maze with uncanny skill, pushing his car to its limits. His movements were fluid, almost instinctual, as if he and the machine were one. The city was his playground, and he knew every inch of it. Raven, her heart pounding, used the chaos to their advantage. She was a shadow in the night, her movements swift and deliberate. The adrenaline coursed through her veins, sharpening her senses, making her acutely aware of every sound, every movement around her. She moved like a phantom, her agility defying gravity, her every move calculated to outwit and evade their pursuers. Her parkour skills turned the urban landscape into her personal obstacle course, each leap and bound a testament to her training and determination. This was a deadly game of cat and mouse, and she was determined to emerge victorious. The stakes were high, and failure was not an option. Every second counted. Every decision could mean the difference between capture and freedom. The night was their ally, the city their battleground, and in this dance of desperation, only the most cunning would survive. They found themselves cornered in an abandoned industrial district, the skeletal outlines of buildings reaching for the sky like grasping claws. The air was thick with the smell of rust and decay, a fitting backdrop for the final showdown.
The Crimson Core belongs to me, Raven. Hand it over and perhaps I'll make your death quick.
Kane, the ruthless mercenary hired to retrieve the Crimson Core, stepped out of the shadows. His eyes, cold and calculating, locked onto Raven, a predatory gleam in their depths. He was a formidable opponent, his strength augmented by a high-tech exosuit. The ground shook as Kane attacked, his exosuit lending him superhuman strength and speed. Raven, agile and quick-witted, dodged his blows, using her environment to her advantage. She drew on the Crimson Core's power, a surge of energy coursing through her veins. The world blurred, time seeming to slow down. She moved with impossible speed, her strikes precise and deadly. The air crackled with energy as the power of the Crimson Core manifested. Metal shrieked as Kane's exosuit buckled under Raven's onslaught. She fought with the fury of a cornered animal, her every move fueled by desperation and the raw power at her fingertips. The industrial district became a battleground, a symphony of destruction orchestrated by Raven and Kane. Explosions lit up the night sky, casting long dancing shadows against the crumbling buildings. Blade, ever the resourceful partner, created a diversion, a fiery spectacle that drew the remaining pursuers away from the heart of the chaos. He knew Raven wouldn't back down, not while the Crimson Core was still in play. As the dust settled, Raven stood victorious, the Crimson Core still clutched in her hand. Kane lay defeated, his exosuit a smoldering ruin. But she knew this was only the beginning. The artifact's power had awakened forces far beyond their comprehension. A sleek black helicopter descended from the sky, its rotors whipping the air into a frenzy. A figure, shrouded in shadow, emerged, his face obscured by the helicopter's downdraft.
You did well, Raven. The Crimson Core is safe for now.
Raven boarded the helicopter, the city lights a glittering panorama beneath them. The Crimson Core pulsed warmly in her hand, a reminder of the night's events and the dangerous path that lay ahead. She had won this battle, but the war for the artifact, for the fate of the world,